Well, hey everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Chilly morning here in lower Alabama. Woke up to 28 degrees Fahrenheit this morning, but supposed to warm up to maybe 65 today, so I'm going to try at the peak of it to get out there and get a little bit more vitamin D. Soaked up a little bit a couple of days ago, but the reserves are running very low. I'm just trying to hang on. I'm basically just trying to hang on for 2 more months until I get back to paradise. Anyhow, today I want to talk about how to start a raw food diet with an easy transition. Doesn't have to be all that hard. I really swear it doesn't. I do videos every day, so if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button now. And then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll know when there's more content out, and so YouTube will not unsubscribe you, which they can do on your YouTube channels. Going to do this video. I just had a nice I continue the love fest with the oranges continues, and that's what kind of broke up this winter for me and has given me a little pep back in my step. As soon as I do this video, well, this morning I just had a nice smoothie with 2 mangoes and some orange juice, and as soon as I do this video and get it uploading, I'm going downtown and see if I can't get another box of oranges, see what the orange situation is. I'm just pretty much taking kind of an easy day today. I have a coaching seminar this afternoon. Nothing to do with raw food. This is having to do something with the t-shirt design, t-shirt business thing. But so I'm going to kind of just save my brain today and just do some errands and catch up on some other stuff. Anyhow, easy transition. Got to talking with about coaching with somebody earlier today, and stuff like that, and I'm like, well, I don't know how much I can really offer. I could offer in the way of coaching, and I don't have any reason for going for coaching myself, because it's just such a natural approach to doing this lifestyle. It just seems kind of counterintuitive to do a whole lot of learning and this and that. Although I would like to take one willing subject at some point that was really willing to do it in a certain way and kind of listen and just trust, and like take them to raw and do it in that easy way, and then see, like, now see this person over here, there wasn't all these bells and whistles. They didn't do a program. I didn't give them a book. They didn't have steps to follow, and they're raw vegan, because it's very much a common sense approach to how to do it. So what is that easy way to do it? First of all, decide how raw you want to go. Now you can change that as you go, but what are we trying to shoot for here? Are we shooting for fully raw? Or are we shooting for 75% raw? Or are we shooting for 80% raw? Sometimes I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing in the beginning to shoot for, say, 80% raw or so, because there's a little psychological ease there. In other words, you're not thinking like never, always, none, no cooked food ever, where that pressure builds up, like, then it becomes the forbidden fruit. No pun intended, because it's not actually fruit. But that's what I mean. When we ban something, or when we make something taboo, it tends to get bigger and become more attractive to us. So sometimes it's not a bad deal in the beginning just to say, yeah, I'm going to go for being 80% raw. You're going to have a little cooked food out there, and it takes some of that anxiety and pressure off of that. The first thing I would always say, and there's a lot of various approaches. I'm not saying this is the one way, the only way, the best way even, but I recommend, whatever you do, go vegan first. Go vegan first. That's going to help your journey as not simply being plant-based, but just going vegan. Make the ethical connection. If you don't make that ethical connection in the beginning, fake it till you make it, and just continue to read, because the ethical like if it's just a diet and you're just eating plants, there's a chance you might just at some point say, nah, well, it's just not worth it for me, not worth the effort. But if you make that ethical connection, you've got a kind of 2 different aspects that are pushing you along. And plus, that's going to be the biggest change anyway. For most people who have eaten animal products and have heard that you have to eat animal products, and the only way to be healthy is to eat animal products for your whole life. So first stage, just simply go vegan. Go vegan. At this point, I would say try to do the best you can. Try to eat some fresh fruits and vegetables. Try not to eat just too highly processed stuff. But in the first phase, don't even really worry about, just go vegan. Then that second phase, after you're solid vegan, you're not eating animal products, you know you're not going to eat any animal products, that temptation is gone because you've made the ethical connection. Then start eliminating the processed stuff and just eating more whole foods, whole plant foods. Now, one thing I'll say is a lot of this transition and a lot of the health from the raw food diet, from a plant-based diet, is not all about what we're adding into the body, because, and every little bit helps, but there's always this out there, well, let's just add a lot more fruits and vegetables. Well, that's good. It's always good to have more fruits and vegetables, but getting healthy is as much about what we're removing as what we're adding to. So when we're, if you're, and there's a lot of meat eaters, and there's a lot of people that are not vegan, not plant-based out there, that kind of feel good about themselves. Well, I eat I have a smoothie every day. I do this, I do that, and it's good. I'm not throwing that under the bus. Any changes are good, but they're just nullified to a large extent by those animal products you're taking in, and some of the even non-animal products that are not necessarily serving you, that have, like 35 ingredients and a ton of chemicals in there. So number 2, I would say, like, just, eat more whole fruits and vegetables, whole real food, and eliminate the processed stuff. Now, when I say that, I don't mean to the extreme. To a large extent, most people are always going to have some processed in there. But that's just like I said a second ago, it's more like, there's processed and then there's processed. There's processed that has a couple of steps, maybe has a couple of ingredients, and then there's just totally put together Frankenfood. Yeah, there's even Frankenfood in the vegan world. I see that in the freezer all the time. But that's still, I don't ever, I'm not throwing shade on that kind of food, because it brings awareness. It can be a step. It brings some people away from eating animal products. And the third phase, and I wouldn't say necessarily the third phase, but then a third recommendation here would be, once you've gone vegan, you're eating a lot of whole whole food, plants and vegetables, fruits, what have you. You're eliminating the more and more of the processed. The next one, what I would say, is start working on lowering your fat. And to kind of take a step back on that, in the early stages there, I wouldn't say go nuts. Don't eat 6 avocados a day, and don't eat avocados, nuts, and tahini and all this in the same day. But don't go fanatic on and worry about your fat at that stage, when you're transitioning, when you're in those early stages of transition. You might want, psychologically, physically, whatever, it might be a little bit more comfortable not focusing on the fat too. That's a mistake, in my opinion, that I see a lot of people make. And I see that in social media a lot, where people are grouped together and talking with other people, and there's threads. You see the person that comes in their own, and you pull for them, and you hope against hope that they're the one that makes it. But you see somebody and they're on their first week and they're all proud, but they're white knuckling it. They're barely hanging on, because they haven't done the transition. They tried to jump into fully raw, low fat. And that's tough. That is tough to come from eating a standard American diet, or even eating just, even a cleaner diet, and going straight to that, fully raw, low fat, uber low fat. And it's just kind of like you're just waiting. You're waiting, like they're going to pop any day. They're not going to be able to sustain this, because they're not ready for this yet. Some people will be. There'll always be that exception out there, and you bet your butt they're going to let you know that they're that exception. Oh, well, I did it overnight, and I went from eating ribs 3 times a day to 100% raw vegan overnight. Well, God bless you, brother. You're stronger than most of them out there. But most of the time it's just really awareness during the transition. You know, awareness. We have, when we come to eating like this, or when I came to this lifestyle, I became much more aware of everything I was putting in my mouth. And the last little thing I'll throw in here is education, education, education. Read about what the food does to your body. That was the 1-2 punch that kept it going for me. The number one punch was the China study. When I saw, you know, like how the body reacted. And then I read other things, you know, to see what is this food actually doing to my body. And when I knew the carcinogenic, cancer-causing effects of what I had been eating and other things, I couldn't put that stuff in my mouth because I knew what it did. I could imagine anytime I even thought about meat or pizza or something like that after I came to this lifestyle, I would just imagine. I'd close my eyes and I'd imagine, okay, you just took a bite. And I would imagine that food traveling through my body and the havoc that was causing that I didn't know before. So that's something good to know. And then also too, I didn't go vegan for the animals, but I made that ethical connection really almost simultaneously, probably within a few days of even looking into the health aspect of it. That was what cemented it for me. And that's when there wasn't a temptation to eat animal products after that, because I just, like, you know, I'm not a cannibal. If I had some sort of, if I kind of thought about human meat, well, no matter how good it is, I'm not a cannibal. And it was kind of just a weird connection like that. Well, I mean, yeah, I can still think back now. I used to barbecue and smoke ribs. I used to do all pulled pork, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to try to fool my brain. I think back and just sensually, it tasted good. It's still, to me right now, I'm not going to be the one that, oh no, gross, that's horrid. But it would still taste good, but I know what it is now. So it kept me on track. Anyhow, I'm going to finish up with, it's just going to be much easier if you figure yourself out an effective transition process that works for you. Going to make this lifestyle a whole lot easier, I promise you. Anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If y'all like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I will see you again tomorrow. Peace.